Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back for another show from where I sit with your host, Dr. C. I know it's been quite a time since I've actually sat down and given you a bona fide show. It's been a couple of weeks, but I am back home. I am happy to be here, and I am happy to report to you from my home studio. And of course, as you can see on our very first slide, we are talking about the No Kings protest, which are coming up tomorrow. Be there, and why should you participate? First of all, I being here in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm going to be participating and recording the protest in downtown Atlanta, but they are going to have No Kings protest all over the state of Georgia and in every state of this union. All you have to do is go to No Kings. You can take a look at this logo that we have right here. Go to No Kings and see if there is a protest near where you live. If there is, I urge you to absolutely participate. And by the way, these No Kings protests are not just happening here in the good old USA. They are having No Kings protests in Mexico. They are having No Kings protests in the Caribbean. They are having No Kings protests all over Europe. So, yeah, this is a big deal and a big movement. You should definitely be there. You should definitely participate. And getting back to the question, why should you participate? Well, let's explore some of the reasons. Now, of course, I've been out on the road all week. You guys know that Dr. C drives a truck for his living right now. This is my final year of doing this. And so when I'm out on the road, I don't have a whole lot of chances to catch up on the news. So I did catch up on a lot of the news tonight when I got home. And this particular story struck my eye. Pete Hegseth blocked two women and two black officers from promotions to one-star generals by orders from President Trump. Now, this story was reported by the New York Times, and I'm going to tell you something that is, it's not going to blow your mind, but it is going to turn your stomach. It is going to disgust you. The reason why Pete Hegseth is holding up the promotions of these two women officers and these two black male officers is because Donald Trump told him specifically he did not want to be standing next to a black woman. I'll say again, he did not want to stand next to a black woman who is going to be promoted to a one-star general. He couldn't stomach the fact that this black woman earned this promotion. And so he directed Pete Hegseth with every racist fiber of his being to hold up these well deserving uh, earned by the way they earned these promotions to one-star general. Keep in mind, and I think this is really important, keep in mind these four individuals are still in the United States military after Donald Trump and his henchmen, the guy who does not even deserve to be the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of War, which, by the way, is an illegal name change. He doesn't even deserve to be there. He's unqualified. And yet, these four well deserving officers still get promoted to one-star general, whereas Donald Trump, who is as incompetent as they become, And Pete Hegseth, who is as undeserving of his position as anybody in U.S. history, by the way, are holding up these four people's well-deserved promotions. It is a racist and bigoted act by the United States President, Donald Trump, and willfully taking these orders, Pete Hegseth, who is the Secretary of Defense. That's reason number one. Reason number two. And by the way, I could go on and on and on this show as to the number of reasons why you ought to be out protesting in the No Kings protest tomorrow. The Trump family has raked in an astonishing $3.4 billion over his two presidencies, the new report claims. Donald Trump and his family made an estimated $2.37 billion from cryptocurrency alone, the report claims. The report also claims that this man, this grifter, this criminal, this corrupt individual is using the presidency to just make money for himself and his family more than any other president in history. More than any other president in history. This is the most corrupt, criminal president we have ever had. In addition, he's trying to get his face put on a gold coin that is going to be coined by the United States Mint. It's already been approved. This man is sick. He's racist. He's a bigot. He's incompetent. He is a sack of crap. I want to use the other word, but I want to keep it clean. This man is a piece of garbage. Okay? He is a criminal, corrupt, and is using the presidency to strictly enrich himself. He could give a damn about anybody else. Believe that. That's your other reason. Let us continue with more reasons. Now, I'm going to get sober here, guys. I want to talk about the SAVE Act, or the Save America Act. Now, this title I got from the Division of Women Voters. And by the way, the Division of Women Voters wrote this. Are the SAVE Act and the Save American Act the same? No, they are not. The Save America Act is a lot worse. And why are the League of Women Voters talking about this? By the way, as one of the measures in the Save America Act that they want to pass, which by the way passed the House, is having a very difficult time getting out of committee in the U.S. Senate. And the Republicans in the U.S. Senate have told Trump again and again and again that they don't have the votes to pass this. But make no mistake about it, everyone, my YouTube family, they are going to keep trying. So what's in it? Why is the League of Women Voters in the United States talking about this? Why are they calling the Save America Act a lot worse? Well, this Save America Act is a measure to restrict people from voting. Now, of course, they're saying that illegal immigrants are voting, and of course, that's a lie. Illegal immigrants or people who are not registered to vote are not voting. Our elections are already pretty doggone secure. But they have gone a little bit further with the Save America Act. They want you to have voter ID. They also want you to have a birth certificate to register to vote. And if you are, and this is the reason why the League of Women Voters are talking about this, but if you are a married woman and you want to register to vote and you have a birth certificate and your last name is different than your married name, they are not going to allow you to register to vote unless you have a secondary form of, guess what, identification known as, which will have your maiden name on it, known as a passport. Need I remind all of you that the majority of Americans of voting age, particularly women who are married, do not have passports? Basically, what they are trying to do is they're trying to restrict women from being able to vote in the 2026 midterm elections. This is the reason why this SAVE Act is being pushed down our throats. They are trying to disenfranchise all of the people who typically vote Democratic. Okay, small d, Democrat, not Republican. And the Republicans are the ones who are trying to push this. The MAGA Republicans, the Trump Republicans are the ones trying to push this, the Save America Act. If for nothing else, you absolutely have to get out and protest tomorrow for this thing alone. If nothing else, this should mobilize you. Okay? And by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this Save America Act so that you will learn what exactly is in it. Now, me being an African American male, I am quite familiar uh, with the Republican Party's uh, tactics to restrict me from voting. Okay? They've done it throughout history ever since the end of the Civil War. They have used voter suppression tactics again and again during the Jim Crow South, excuse me, and they're still trying to do it now. Only this time, they are trying to restrict not just me from voting, but they're trying to restrict women from voting as well. In fact, if you remember in 2024, when all of these people were running for office, not just for president, but the Mark Robinson, the guy who was running to be governor, I believe, in the state of North Carolina, he basically said that women should not be allowed to vote at all. He is not the only one who believes that. These Republicans believe that as well. They believe that if you are a married woman, you should be voting the way your husband votes. They also believe that you should be barefoot and working in the kitchen and being a slave to your husband. That's what they also believe. If this doesn't chill you to your bone, then I don't know what else will. Let's get to some more reasons. Now, this one particularly struck me because this is a global story. The U.S. is one of 3 countries to vote against the UN resolution calling slavery, the transatlantic slavery trade, a crime against humanity. Argentina and Israel also voted against this resolution. Also, uh, 27 members of the European Union were also among those that abstained. They did not vote. And this resolution did pass. I think 125 countries passed this. Argentina voted against that. The United States voted against that, and so did Israel. Now, I think it is quite clear why the United States voted against this, right? Because the United States and various other countries in the Western Hemisphere participated in this transatlantic slave trade. And by the way, it's not just slave trade, but this is chattel slavery. This is slavery based upon the color of someone's skin. And yes, 123 countries voted in favor of this measure to pay reparations. And yes, we, descendants of these slaves in the United States, have been calling for reparations for decades, for a century or more. And of course, the U.S. voted against this. Why am I talking about this? Well, the reason why I'm talking about this, and also the reason why you must participate in the No Kings protest coming up tomorrow, is we have to make some significant changes in this country. Significant changes. And the United States of America is never, ever going to grow unless they acknowledge that slavery was bad, that it was crimes against black people who were stolen for the shores in Africa and brought to this God-forsaken country to serve these God-forsaken people who were in charge of it. Now, I had a very long conversation with my oldest brother. Now, I'm going to tell you something about my oldest brother. I love him immensely. He's the man I wish I could be, that I wish I were, right? He's a retired pastor. He's a retired AME pastor, has a doctoral degree in philosophy and religion. Okay, so yeah, having conversations with him is quite exhilarating, right? Okay, and we were talking about this very topic about um, the UN passing this resolution that chattel slavery was a crime against humanity. And I said to him, and I think this is important for me to share this with you. I said to him that this country, the United States of America, is irredeemable unless we can acknowledge and discuss the original sin, if you will, in this country of chattel slavery, not to mention the downright genocidal movement against the Native Americans, the natives, the indigenous people who lived in this country in North America. We'll never grow as a country. We will never, ever be able to redeem ourselves unless we acknowledge these sins. And I told him that this country is never going to recover from what is happening to us. Yes, I'm feeling quite pessimistic about our prospects. Yes, I'm going to go down to downtown Atlanta and participate in these No King protests because I believe it's my duty to do so. After all, I did serve in the United States military, and yes, I fought for democracy. I believe in it. But I'm feeling a little bit pessimistic about our chances of turning this country around. And I shared these thoughts with my oldest brother. And so, therefore, he decided to preach to me. He told me about the story of Jonah. And he was talking about Jonah, and I forget who it was. Nineveh, I think he said it was Nineveh. Skip, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but I'm sharing this with my audience. And Jonah went to tell Nineveh that God was going to raise his hand against that nation unless they redeemed themselves, that they turned away from their sins, that they repent. And Jonah said, unless you do that, God is going to take y'all out. Okay? He's going to take y'all out. He's going to take y'all out big time. And he goes up on the mountain and watches and waits and watches to see if God actually takes them out. Well, of course, the king of Nineveh and the people of Nineveh did exactly what Jonah told them to do. Repent. And they did. And God stayed his hand. Okay, all right, I get that. But do I see this country, the ruling class, need I say it, the white supremacists in this country, do I ever see themselves repenting against their sins to humanity, to their black and brown brothers and sisters? No, I don't see them ever doing it. And then my brother told me this. He said, humanity has always been corrupt. Humanity has always enslaved each other. Humanity has always murdered each other, has always raped each other. I mean, we, humanity, has committed sin on top of sin on top of sin, and we are still doing it today. And through all of that, my brother says to me, God has always been with us. Now, I'm going to tell you this. My brother's a man of deep, deep faith. And he has deep, deep faith in the redemption of humanity, the deep faith and redemption of the people that live in this country. And I absolutely applaud him for that. But I told my brother, I'm sorry, man. I don't have that much faith. Like I said, he's the man I wished I could be. Why am I telling you this story? Well, I'm asking you. And when I see you out in the No King protest tomorrow in downtown Atlanta, I'm going to ask you, is this country redeemable? Are we ever going to repent? And I want all of you to give me an honest answer. Again, like I said, my brother is a man of deep, deep faith, and I love him for that. I applaud him for that. I wished I was half of what he is when it comes to faith. But I'm sorry, my faith is waning. I'm going to ask you the same question. Okay? God and man, the relationship. Do you believe we in this country are able to redeem that good relationship with God himself or herself? Okay? That's what I'm asking you. And I will be asking you at the protest tomorrow. Skip, I love you, man. I wish my faith was as strong as yours, which is the reason why I keep talking to you. Okay? I love my brother. He's one heck of a guy. And I'm going to end this podcast, this broadcast with you on that note. Is the United States of America going through this trial that we're going through right now? Is this country redeemable? Will we ever repent from the sins we have committed? And the sins are numerous. That's my question for y'all tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. That's Dr. C from where I sit. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the protest. Y'all have a good night.